Are you one of the 10% of Americans who doesn't care about politics? According to a 2014 study from the Pew Research Center, 1 in 10 Americans pay little, if any, attention to what's happening in politics. Politics at its core is about the decisions that are made for us and by us. The Black community especially has felt the impact of political decision making throughout United States history. And if you think those consequences don't affect you now, you'd be wrong. From education to environmental and public health crises to systematic injustice and beyond, politics is as relevant in our lives as ever. Join host OZ Pie the Fourth and Arnessa Pie in the monthly podcast series Life Before and After, where we are joined by special guests to examine the connection between politics and the impact they have had throughout our lives and even in our depths. 1 in 10 Americans don't give a hoot about politics. As Republicans and Democrats gear up for a presidential election this November, there's one group of Americans that is paying very little, if any, attention to this whole ordeal. Overall, 10% of Americans are what we call bystanders, or the politically disengaged, according to Pew Research Center's Political Typology Report.
Hello and welcome to Life Before and After, the show that examines the impact between political topics and the things that it can do to your life and all that good stuff. And we actually talk more about just politics, but we talk about just life in general. Mm-hmm. So that's what this Life Before and After show is all about. And I'm here with my lovely co-host and wife, Miss Arnessa Pie. How you doing, baby girl?
I'm good. How are you, Ozzy?
I'm good. Good. What up, though? And we are here to do a brief little review on all of everything that happened in our first episode, which was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Baby, what happened?
Well, we invited 2 wonderful guests. The first guest that we had was the Wayne County Commissioner Chair, Alicia Bell. And then secondly, we have political activist Joanna JoJo Underwood. Both of them talked about specific topics that pertain to our community and how we can be better and what to look out for. And they both provided a lot of valuable information that hopefully that, will be utilized in the future.
Yeah, both JoJo is really active in the community. She's doing a lot of groundwork with the community and everything like that. So we support her.
Absolutely.
We'll be doing some definitely a lot more follow up with her too, because I love what she's doing. Mm-hmm. So I love that. And also Alicia Bell is they were instrumental in getting out the vote. I mean, actually it worked. You see, Wayne County has made national headlines all because of a lot of the work that Alicia Bell has done and all those folks down there. So just getting everything organized. So we really appreciate all the work that Alicia Bell and JoJo Underwood is doing in our community. And don't stop, ladies. We're going to keep this thing cracking.
Absolutely.
And we got your back, too.
Absolutely.
So we love it, man. We love it. So, an election happened, y'all.
There's a new president-elect.
Yeah. And, despite all the challenging and all the craziness going on or whatever, we've got a process that's going on here.
That's right.
And for our pleasure, we've brought on Mr. Eric Foster. Now, let me tell you about Eric Foster. He is first off like the political guru. This guy is down. He is the group director of strategy and business development at Banks and Company. And he's also an expert in public policy and as well as a political strategist. Mm-hmm. So, I just know he's just the man. That's just it. When you want something done in Lansing, that's who you talk to. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, I would love to bring on Mr. Eric Foster. Man, brother Eric Foster, where you at, Doc?
I'm here. I'm actually in East Lansing. That's where I live. But it's been a lot of fun seeing the play out of how this election went. A lot of good things happened. There's some things that we have to work on going forward, but one, turnout. United States nationally, we're on track to have over 158 million voters show up.
Registration, and that's a record, right?
That is a record. That's the most ever. Every state has exceeded its highest vote total for any election, presidential or gubernatorial, in history. So
Mm.
it's say Wyoming. Wyoming's the only one that didn't, but Wyoming just gets
Wow.
no turnout, even in high turnout elections for whatever reason. Then here in Michigan, we had extremely high turnout. We had so far in Michigan, we had over, let me go to the Michigan numbers, but we had 5.5 million voters show up, 71.4%. And registration wise, so when you look at registration, voter registration, you track it against the eligible population that are citizens. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, Michigan had eligible citizens to registered voters, 100% registered voters across
Mm,
all groups. So all
mm,
African Americans were registered to vote, all Arabic Americans, Latino, white, and turnout was huge. African American turnout in Michigan, of the over 1 million voters that exist in Michigan that are African American, 750,000 showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So we had huge turnout, and that is what really is translated to this victory for Joe Biden, not just here in Michigan, but then in Arizona, in Georgia, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania. The turnout of African Americans and other groups of color exceeded their highest individual turnout. So, and then from a voting vantage point, all groups voted heavily for Joe Biden, save the white voting community, which voted majority for Donald Trump. That's one of the things we got to think about going forward is with that particular community, where is the disconnect in
Mm-hmm.
terms of why they are feeling that they need to pick a Donald Trump or pick that ism in life? What is the disconnect from feeling connection to and comfort with people of color, with Jewish Americans? Because the rest of us making the same informed choice that they did chose positive policy, positive communication, not demonizing people. I may be a little angry at Republicans personally, but Joe Biden actually talked about how do we work together? How do we be positive? How do we make America safe and so, how do we bring justice and peace
Mm-hmm.
to America
Right.
versus law and order, which is more authoritarian. If you don't do what I want you to do, then you are a problem. And that's what we're seeing play out in all of these frivolous, bat bleed, crazy lawsuits that are taking place by the Trump team around the country. As we were coming on, one of the lawsuits in Arizona just got thrown, they just pulled. The Trump people just pulled and withdrew. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
lawsuits in Arizona. The lawsuit there was Sharpie Gate, where they
mm,
said that Republican voters were given Sharpies to purposely disenfranchise them because the Sharpie would bleed through the paper and then the paper wouldn't count in the machine and then they
uh,
wouldn't be able to have a vote counted.
wow.
Wow.
So here was the
And not so wait, how would they know if you voted Republican or not? Like how would they know who to get the Sharpies to?
right,
like,
right.
Mm-hmm.
like
So the in the court hearing yesterday, first they tried to file thousands of affidavits from people who said that their votes didn't count. But then upon cross-examination from the judge and from the county and state officials, they admitted, yeah, most of these are basically lying. We don't know what they really are talking about. We can't verify anything that they said. So then they had some in-person witnesses, one of whom was actually a lawyer for the law firm representing Trump, who was saying that his vote didn't get processed and they had to hit a green button. Ultimately, they said, well, we're really only contesting 191 votes because as
mm,
officers of the court, they can't go in and lie like Donald Trump does, or they'll
that's it.
lose their law license. So when
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
asked questions, are you saying that millions of Arizona voters committed fraud? Are you saying that election officials purposely committed fraud? On the record, in the transcripts, they said, no, we're not saying that. We're saying that there were just issues that occurred that might have disenfranchised Donald Trump voters. Ultimately, 191 possible, not even confirmed, but possible issues out of an 11,400 vote victory for Joe Biden. So they just pulled
Wow.
the lawsuit. Here in Michigan, they recycled one lawsuit that they already lost.
Mhm.
They're suing the Secretary of State and they're suing the city of Detroit and Wayne County. Basically, here's what they're asking to do. They want to throw out all Wayne County votes. They want to throw out all Oakland County votes. They want to throw out all Pitt County votes. And they want to throw out Atrium County, which voted Republican, just to be fair, because they had a software glitch in some of their election number reporting because of this quote unquote conspiracy. What it really is, guys, one, not understanding process of how do you deal with ballots if you have to make a duplicate ballot because the machine rejected it, that's within Michigan law. How many election observers you can have and how many can be in the room and what they can and can't do, which was law written and passed in 1954.
Mhm.
I really don't think that legislators in Michigan in 1954 were thinking, yeah, in 2020, there's going to be this Donald Trump seat, and we got to get him because, we're part of the deep state. So we're going to pre-plan in
Right.
1954. At the end of the day, the way that they attack voters, and Joe Biden right now has 77.9 million votes, the most
Wow.
ever for a candidate. He has huge support from our community and from other communities of color, from the Jewish community. And he got about 36 million white votes, which is 3 million more than Hillary got in
Mhm.
Yeah.
2016. So that is a mandate. That is huge. But we made a voting choice. Every election, the Republicans come out with there's fraud and corruption with Democrats. What they're really saying, and why it ties back into Detroit and it ties into Wayne County, it ties into all communities of color, they're basically saying that if you're a black or brown person or a white ally, we don't think you are voting legitimately and should have access to voting because we don't like your choice. We're not going
Right.
to try to sell ourselves to you. We're just going to say we don't want like your choice, so we got to stop you from having the ability to exercise your choice.
Wow.
That's
So
what it really
let's
comes down to. It's pure
wow.
racism, it's sexism, it's urbanism, it is unityism, because for the white allies that vote for us, they didn't want them 36 million white votes to count for Joe Biden either. Here's where this really ties all of this stuff. Right now, you have a 75-year-old baby in a bunker sucking his thumb, while the amount of COVID cases found has doubled from 76,000 on November 1st to 159,091 yesterday. Almost 10,000 people have died since Election Day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Lawless funeral home operators in other parts of the country, they're being inundated with deaths. They don't have the capacity to keep up. The
That's right.
more the county officials that deal with the that aspect in terms of morgue and running and the like, medical examiners, they don't have enough room. They're bringing in refrigerated trucks. The the country is dying, and this man is spending time attacking the exercise of the rights that you, me, and 79 million plus 77.9 million plus people made while people are dying. And hell, he's in his fifth outbreak round at the White House.
That's right.
This is putting people's lives in continual danger, one from the demagoguery, but also two from the just, I don't care if COVID kills everybody. I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. What about human life? What about the consideration of life? So and I ask you all as business owners, what do you think we can do to try to get through to people because they're taking this? I'm tired of the coronavirus. I'm tired of quarantining and I'm tired of social distancing. I want to just be out and be free. And especially those that listen to that man, what do you think we can do to try to get them to realize this is not a joke? 10,000 people dying in 8 days. That's not a joke. That's more than 9/11.
Right.
Double 9/11.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Well, one thing I can say is personally, and it's something I try to spread here, at Pine Funeral Home and to the rest of our staff, is that we value life. We value people who, are having to deal with these things and have to grieve. So it's like we have to put the onus on ourselves to take care of people who may catch this disease.
Right.
I mean, if we care, like I just don't want other people to get sick. I don't want other people to die. And that is something that we need to just really adopt and take on seriously. Now, we've done a lot of things here in terms of wearing masks, and my whole staff's wearing masks and all that kind of stuff. And we're also
hand sanitizer everywhere.
Yep, hand sanitizers and everything like that. And of course, over the spring when it first jumped up, we had to even rent coolers. I rented 2 coolers.
Yep.
Wow. Each had 22 bodies in them at a time, and they both were full the second that they actually were up and running. They were immediately full. It was that crazy, and we also were full even inside. We couldn't even take any more calls, so that was a nightmare. And I'm hoping that this fall we don't get into those kinds of difficulties again. But at least one thing about it, that going forward now, we'll be ready.
Right.
We'll be a lot more prepared for it this time. Won't be able to kind of sneak up on us like it did before. So we'll be ready. But ultimately, we've got to take care of life, man. We got to take care of people around us.
Right. One thing I want to also stress, not just for us being in the funeral industry, but just everybody in general, please take accountability. Please, yes. I don't want to wear a mask just like the next person next to me.
I always forget.
I forget my mask. I never forget. My son was FaceTiming me, and I walked in the grocery store without my mask, and they was like, "Ma'am, sorry, you can't come in here without your mask." And I was like, "Oh my God, I completely forgot." And now, just be accountable. Wear a mask. If you feel any inkling of being sick, stay home, quarantine, go to the hospital, get tested. If it comes back negative, that's great. Yeah. Don't just go anywhere nilly-willy and just be like, well, my rights are being violated. No, you're violating everybody's health in here. We have the potential to die because of your carelessness, because of your selfishness. Go out and put on a dang on mask. It's simple. It's just a temporary thing in order to curb this virus and get it away, to eliminate it. We can all be accountable. Just wear a mask.
It's the least we can do right
exactly.
now. Eric, thank you again, man, for coming on. I thank you for your questions too. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
We got interviewed on our own show.
Right. That's awesome.
Man, we appreciate you, dude. And there's much more that we're going to get to. So we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Making final arrangements for your loved one can be very emotional, stressful, and overwhelming. At times like this, you need the support and services from someone you can trust. O.H. Pye III Funeral Home is that someone. Our staff is knowledgeable, caring, and considerate of each family's individual circumstances and needs. For a consultation, give us a call at 313-838-9770. Pye Funeral Home. Caring for families, caring for life.
All right, and we're back. We're gonna we'll wrap up right here. But baby, you have some things you wanted to add?
Absolutely. First off, I just want to say that I hope that everyone watched our episode, enjoyed it. Life Before and After. We would like to thank Eric Foster for speaking with us, and we would like to thank you, the viewer, for listening in.
Yeah, you guys are phenomenal, man. So definitely continue to like, share, and subscribe everything with us. Our next show is going to be hot. Well, hot, but we're talking about COVID-19. Some things we just hit up with Mr. Foster here, but we're going to talk about COVID-19 and small businesses and the political implications of it. And also, we're going to talk about education with our kids. So look forward to that. That's going on next. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And you know, maybe you had something else.
No, you really hit it, babe. Like my husband said, please like and subscribe. Life Before and After. And thank you so much to all of our followers, and to our new followers, welcome. And we look forward to having you back. And we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, comment it down there or whatever. Let us know what you think. And good or bad, we can take it. We big, we strong. We can handle it. We can leave. We can leave.
Yeah.
So come on, let's get it. And what up, though, Detroit? We love you.
Love you.
Are you one of the 10% of Americans who doesn't care about politics? According to a 2014 study from the Pew Research Center, 1 in 10 Americans pay little, if any, attention to what's happening in politics. Politics at its core is about the decisions that are made for us and by us. The Black community especially has felt the impact of political decision-making throughout United States history. And if you think those consequences don't affect you now, you'd be wrong. From education to environmental and public health crises to systematic injustice and beyond, politics is as relevant in our lives as ever. Join host OZ Pie IV and Arnessa Pie in the monthly podcast series Life Before and After, where we are joined by special guests to examine the connection between politics and the impact they have had throughout our lives and even in our deaths. 1 in 10 Americans don't give a hoot about politics. As Republicans and Democrats gear up for a presidential election this November, there's one group of Americans that is paying very little, if any, attention to this whole ordeal. Overall, 10% of Americans are what we call bystanders, or the politically disengaged, according to Pew Research Center's Political Typology Report.